When the lights and camera turn off, I will be here. When the interest and conversation fade, I will be here. When there's no one around, a father will do anything it takes to be there for his son, to protect his family.
Daniel Robinson went missing 4 months ago. This is the last photo his family has of him. He's a 24-year-old geologist, last seen leaving his job site in Buckeye, Arizona.
As the Gabby Petito homicide case garners national attention, another young person has been missing for nearly 3 months, and his family is desperate to find him. 24-year-old Daniel Robinson, a geologist, was last seen on the morning of June 23rd, leaving his work site in the desert of Buckeye, Arizona.
David Robinson had only one thought on his mind as he drove the nearly 1,800 miles from his South Carolina home to Phoenix.
I had to find my son.
No one is available to take your call. Please leave a message.
Hey, Daniel. This is Ken with Weber Water Resources. I'm out here at Trillium off of Sun Valley Parkway. I'm waiting on fuel. I think it's going to be a while. He was all the way over at Fort McDowell here at 6 o'clock this morning. So I just wanted to give you a heads up. It's, I don't want you to come all the way out here and just sit and wait. But I was going to give you a heads up when you're about an hour away from being ready to go and stuff. But if you can, just give me a call when you get a chance.
No one is available to take your call. Please leave a message.
Hey, Daniel C. Hey, give me a call, please. Thank you.
No one is available to take your call. Please leave a message.
Hey, Daniel, this is Roger. I know that work is trying to get hold of you, but I'm less concerned about them than I am about you. Give me a call back. Let me know what's going on. If I need to pick you up somewhere or whatever, just give me a holler. I'll make sure you're okay. So I'll talk to you later. Thanks.
Good morning, everybody. It's Dave Robinson, father of geologist Daniel C. Robinson. I want to tell you thank you again for coming into this morning to talk about Daniel, my son. Daniel, a resident, he's from South Carolina, a native of South Carolina. Went out to college for his college, his college of Charleston in Charleston, South Carolina, where he started his career, where he started his life, his life as an adult. Daniel went to College of Charleston. He majored in geology. Daniel did very well at that school. He graduated with honors in geology, the field of geology. He took his degree out to Phoenix, Arizona, where he started his life, like I said, in his career. He landed his first job immediately upon arriving into Phoenix with a company called engineering company called Matrix New World. It's also called Matrix Southwest Groundwater. Daniel's job entails they hired him on as a field geologist. They also call it a hydrogeologist. His job entails going to different well sites all across Arizona, to assess those wells. Each well comes from groundwater in that desert state of Arizona. By law, those groundwater have to produce at least 100 years of water before any community can be built. It need to be reproduce 100, recharge itself to reduce another 100 years of water as time goes. Daniel's job is very important as a geologist, is to determine that. There's a reason why that engineering company hires hires geologists to be field geologists, hydrogeologists. And his job is also important because the company also tests the water, make sure they are drinkable, safe for human consumptions, etc. Daniel did his job just that on June the 23rd of 2021. He was always there. He was there for almost going up to 3 years with the company. When he went out he had assignment to go to 2 well sites in Buckeye, Arizona. Also, that is Maricopa County out in Arizona. He went to the first well site according to his job, where only information I got from that is from Daniel's cell phone itself, where he took pictures of logs at that well site. But you guys know, you can see the timeline that I just played before I came on. Some things do not match up to the way the story of my son's disappearance. My son has got this to the second was signed to the second well site. This where everything's get questionable. According to one worker who was waiting on my son at the second well site from a company called Weber Waterworks, and he said that Daniel met him out on Sun Valley Parkway, which is outside of that Sonoran Desert. Is the roadway outside of the Sonoran Desert area, where he said he and my son met on the shoulder of the road. My son followed him into that desert, the Sonoran Desert. They went 1 mile west, 2 miles north to reach this well site. They reached that well site, according to him, around 9 o'clock. After 9 o'clock, they had a brief conversation. My son talked to him for about 10 minutes or so, he said, and 9:15, Daniel was gone to never have been seen again. Nearly 30 days later, my son's vehicle showed up in a ravine that is now, we know, closer to 4 miles away. And that ravine, it's a 20-foot ravine, is like I said, farther into that Sonoran Desert. It was turned on the side. Everything allegedly on my son's body was found on 3 feet away from that vehicle in a pile, all the way from the underwear down to the socks. Also, my son's personal effects was found with that vehicle, as well as his work laptop and some other items. As you guys know, according to the Buckeye Police Department, their first assessment about the vehicle showing up there was that the vehicle rolled and twisted and flipped and landed on the side. My son, according to them, felt that he was wearing a seatbelt. And the reason why they say that, because they say the way seatbelt locks when it is in the car accident, when it's in a vehicle accident, as well as they believe that he had a severe head injury. But they said the good part was that he didn't sustain no injuries because they didn't see any blood in the vehicle. But at the same time, they said he had a severe head injury, a brain injury that caused him to kick his way out the sunroof. And once he got outside, he explained that head injuries causes a person to feel hot, and that's the reason why he shredded his clothes off all the way down from his underwear down to his socks and put it in a pile. And he felt that Daniel walked away to hide up under a tree somewhere to cool off, and that some wild animal most likely had gotten him. The other part is later they changed that narrative or that theory to believing that maybe Daniel had wanted to be away from his family, to join the monastery and become a monk. That was the police assessment that caused me to hire my own private investigator, you guys. And you guys know how that went. Hired my own private investigator. My private investigator came on. The first thing he did was to retrieve a vehicle that the Buckeye Police Department had turned over to me the next day after it was found. They only held on to it a little longer because I demanded to have forensics done on the vehicle. I demanded fingerprinting, not knowing anything about forensics. I asked for fingerprinting, the only thing I knew. asking to, and the reason why is to see if anybody else was in that vehicle. Anybody was driving that vehicle. My son indeed was driving. They say it's obvious he was driving it because, according to the Buckeye Police Department, because it's his vehicle. The other thing was I asked about the blood that caused me to ask for forensics as well. Was how you know there wasn't blood in the vehicle? Do y'all test it for anybody wiping up blood? No, we didn't see with our eyes any blood in the vehicle. So some of those things has caused me, like I said, my investigator came on. He immediately went out to retrieve the vehicle. The Buckeye Police Department at that point, once they found out what my investigators' intentions were. That was to his intentions were to have the infotainment system retrieved. But that's before I want to back up. Before that, he went up to retrieve the vehicle. They gave him all the available information they pulled from the vehicle. Those things were only, I don't think that the Buckeye Police Department pulled from that vehicle was the black box data, if you want to call it. They did not read it correctly. They didn't read it at all, or something out of the other. But they gave it over to my investigator, and they told him he can have it because they're not investigating. It's nothing to investigate. My son, my investigator, he took that information, he read it, and that's where you guys got all the information that you know about this vehicle to the date. Well, other part, like I said, he pulled that vehicle, who was coming to pull that vehicle out of there. That's when the Buckeye Police Department gave him a hard time once he told them what his intentions were to get the infotainment system analyzed, send it out to California to get a time, date stamp, whatever the case may be, all the information he can get from that vehicle. They then had to, I guess, consult with their attorneys, the Buckeye Police Department, and from that point, they realized that they already gave the vehicle over to my possession, that they could not hold it. And they know that I wasn't going to allow them to keep the vehicle, so they had me to sign paper that they actually gave it back to me before my investigator pulled it out of that compound. We pulled it out of the compound. Like I said, you guys got all the information that you guys know from about this vehicle, about my son's disappearance to this date. Those efforts came from my first assessment coming out to Arizona, trying to work with the Buckeye Police Department, started my own individual investigation into my son's disappearance. A lot of information you guys know, like I said, from tips and things like that came from my own efforts. It did not come from the police department. To date, the police department had came up with zero anything that would lead us closer to finding answers about Daniel's disappearance. Everything you know, like I said, came from my efforts as well as my as well as when I hired my private investigator who came, gave you guys the information you know now, the red transfer paint, for instance, the 2 impressions on the windshield, the 11 additional miles on the vehicle, the 4 to 6 initial cycles, the time date around 1 o'clock when the accident first happened, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The information about someone had been tampering Daniel's apartment. We didn't know the time and date when this thing happened, but we later found out, hindsight now, because of some forensic work that, with my hard work, I convinced the Tempe Police Department to perform. So you guys, so everything we're doing right now, I'm doing right now, my team and myself, is to try to do everything we can to put Daniel's case and get to justice. You know, we have all the information. We gave the Buckeye Police Department as well as other agencies all the information of foul play. My investigator gave them all the information that suggests foul play, as well as the ties to my son's vehicle being seen in another location 2 days prior to it being dumped into that crime scene out there in the desert. Refusing to accept those things. Of course, you guys know the Buckeye Police Department hired their own private investigator. The only way I can see it is to try to rebut something that he has never seen. This investigator is supposed to be this great investigator from out in, I think he was in Scottsdale, Arizona somewhere, and to rebut the hard physical evidence that was there of possible foul play. This investigator have never seen Dane's vehicle, never examined his vehicle, but made a full report that does nothing but say the opposite of what the findings of physical findings that happened at the scene. So you guys, you can see the dilemma. You guys can see the banner behind me. You know, this is a grassroots movement. I have not been doing if they're thinking that I have been doing without you guys. So you guys have been helping by donating. You guys been helping by coming out to the searches, passing out flyers, etc. So I really depended on this grassroots movements. I depended on the leads that I was able to follow, going out to places like Sedona to Flagstaff, places in California. So just being able to go out and do things like that, as well as say providing just providing everything, like getting those flyers out, get thousands of flyers, go doing all these interviews, you name it. It's almost 2 years. Next month will be 2 years that Daniel has been missing, and I'm still on this fight, you guys. I'm not giving up on my son. I can tell you guys that it has been very trying for the last few weeks. I have a lot of family things that's going on as well in the background. You guys have been keeping me away as much as possible. I really want to. It's a challenge, you guys. It's a challenge to be able to juggle the everyday life and things that happen in life, as well as having a missing child, a missing loved one, the person that you love the most. Want to see this person through. So thank you guys again for coming in this morning, to listen to me talk about my efforts to find my son. Again, I want to thank you from day one, from everything you guys have been doing. Day one, everything you guys have been doing. Like I said again, I could not have done it without you, and I love your support. I love you guys coming in to support here on this YouTube channel. Of course, this YouTube channel is exactly what it is. It's not an entertainment channel. It is exactly what it is, to try to help find my son, get the information out there, as well as inform the public of what I'm doing, as well as you guys suggestions and things like that. You have questions also to be able to answer your questions and stuff like that. So I was just thinking, you guys, last night I was sitting here trying to find out, or trying to think of new ways I can do some content and things like that for this channel. How to get Daniel's story out a lot more. What's my next steps into fighting for, you can see here, the justice for Daniel, fighting. And it's hard, you guys. I'm telling you, I'm not an expert. I thought about it, I say, look, I'm not an expert. I started this thing off as a retired military father who have very successful children. Have one is an archaeologist, one geologist, one marine biologist, one is a computer engineer. So those things, right? Those things, you guys, and also the guys are they are very. My oldest son is also very talented in music. So since I'm saying, you guys, I was out and I was just keep thinking about it. Like, look, yesterday I was just thinking about it. Like, I've been retired young man, trying to enjoy life. After retirement, the things that you have to do when you're dealing with military life, and then life changed on the dime, you guys. That's why I tell you guys, please hold your loved ones tight, because you never know, life could change very quickly. And I'm not an expert. I didn't go out to Arizona as a PI, or one of these organizations that help find missing loved ones. I'm just, as a father, going to chase after my son, and to find out what happened. When I immediately realized that law enforcement wasn't going to help. That's the initial feeling that I had when they told me he's a grown man, he can disappear if he want to. I heard those things so many times. It's so familiar to me as a black man growing up, in the projects. I grew up in the projects, and I know how life is when it comes to dealing with law enforcement. I have bruises on my body for life from police brutality, just for getting off a city bus and walking across the street, things like that. Stand on the corner talking to my friends about girls, getting chased by cops. So things like that. So I have a life of knowing how police can really be. There's also some good cops out there as well. I have family members who was a law enforcement officer, retired detective as well, as knowing some other people. So I can't say, and I'm not advocating saying all police are bad. I can say, if you're a good police, you would say something, you would fight for justice, and that ultimately make you a bad cop. So again, not saying, just hearing those stories, hearing their assessment about how they was going to react to my son's disappearance. I was over 2,000 miles away. What do a parent do? Do what I do. I did. Hopped in my vehicle, start heading. Some people would have took a flight. They know that's more common sense. But at time when you have those things happening, I'm telling you guys, you would not be thinking on your toes. You'll be thinking on the moment. And the moment was to grab everything I could and get there to Arizona as fast as I can to find out what's going on and try to rescue my son. Once I got on the ground, you guys, fortunately, just learning over the months, you learn a little bit more, you gain a little bit more knowledge, and then you take that knowledge to try to help others as well along that journey. So, it's like I said, I've just been thinking last night, try to see what I'm going to do today. It's like, hey, what I'm going to do on this channel today. You notice I'm not saying Q&A. I'm trying to take away saying, hey, call it a Q&A. Of course, I would like to answer questions and things like that, but I want to make sure that I'm getting out all the information and all my efforts that I'm trying to do to to locate my son. So thank you again, you guys. I want to go in the comment section, though. I do want to acknowledge you guys coming in this morning. I saw the first thing I saw this morning was Forever Curious. Before I even started, Forever Curious had this up. So I want to tell Forever Curious, thank you so much. I know you had an appointment, but thank you so much for even considering before you going out to just considering this channel that is that important that you was to leave a message and say, hey, look, I'm leaving. I won't be able to support, like be there this morning because I have this appointment, but you was here because you left this message. So I really appreciate that. You're doing that Forever Curious. That's the first thing I saw. And I wanted to make sure I respond to that again. Also, thank you, Suzanne. I really appreciate you being here off the YouTube side. I really appreciate your prayers. Prayer changes things. That's what I was taught when I was growing up. So I really, really appreciate that. And I thank you so much for saying that in Jesus' name. I really appreciate that. Days life do matter. What it done and what is done in the dark also will be brought into the light, and I believe that. I truly believe that. So thank you, Suzanne, for being here this morning off the YouTube side, as well as Esther. Thank you for being here. Clumsy, thanks so much for being here as well. Hello to you. And also Tia Wildflower, thank you so much for being here. Hello to you as well. Angie, baby, thanks so much for being here. Good morning to you. I really appreciate you coming off the YouTube side as well. Another Maria, thanks so much for being here. Hello to you, and thank you so much for coming off the YouTube side. Thank you for Angie, baby, for putting up the hashtag Justice for Daniel, and that's what we're seeking. That's what I'm always going to seek. It's at this point, you guys. There's been numerous of searches. I have been searching for over 48 weeks, cover over 35,000 acres of land. Like I said, got all the information, you guys. Like I said, that will lead to foul play for law enforcement. Get them all the information they can utilize. So Dave's case is far from ever from at this point becoming a cold case. It is too much for law enforcement to work with. They just have to work with it. And so, after gathering everything we could, helping find other family members out there in that desert, after closing a case for the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, like I told you, a stolen vehicle that we found out there for them, they were looking for, as well as some other items that we was able to recover, cell phones, for instance. After all the efforts out there to collect all this data, collect all this information, the time when this vehicle the accident first occurred, the information about the vehicle itself, law enforcement have a lot to work with. Only if they work with, I'm telling you guys, if they're not working with everything that you guys hear about this case, that is a tragedy for law enforcement. So right now, for Daniel's sakes, you guys, at the beginning, I was on a rescue mission, and then that rescue mission turned to a recovery mission, and as well as at the same time, the informational campaign. And now I'm at a point where I'm looking for justice for my son. I've been looking for justice from day one, but this is more as pushing forward to the towards the forefront now, justice for Daniel. So of course, you guys, I'm really needing your help on this. That's why I have this mailing protest that we'll be talking about again. Thank you, Shauna, for being here this morning. Good morning, good afternoon to you as well, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Of course, you guys know who Shauna is. She's the secretary for the Dan Ross Foundation, but she's also a team member, my friend as well, and it's always also a moderator for this channel. So thanks so much, Shauna. I really appreciate you being here this morning. Also, thank you, Valerie, for being here again. I really appreciate it. Oh, and I also forgot. Like, share, subscribe. And that's one of the key things here for this channel. Thank you, Shauna, for being here and putting that there. We have 2.53 thousand subscribers, and we need this channel to grow, continue to grow. And that's the reason, that's the way I was able to get Daniel's story out as much as I can. Whenever news organizations, they only could do what their bosses do. There's other newses out there, and a case like Daniel would get stale to the news networks, and that's why you guys will not see as much out there as it was when Daniel's case had went on the national side of things. And so that's why it's so truly important for me to continue what I'm doing here on this YouTube channel and do the best I can to keep his name out there, because I'm telling you guys, and I say this to other families who may be listening, um, please do what I'm doing, because what'll happen is it gives law enforcement a reason to call your person's case a cold case. When the public lose interest in the case, if the family seem to lose interest in the case, they'll throw it in the back file somewhere. I call it a dark closet with cobwebs. That's why I see it in my brain. And they get to it when they get to it. Wherever detective was working on your case, when they get back to it again, that person can be retired, and some new rookie, new detective come in and blow the cobweb the way I look at it, dust off of this file, and say, "Hey, I want to work this case." And then they, years later, may be able to crack that case. And you don't want your loved one to be put in the back burner, or things like that. So that's why it's important to do what I'm doing, is try your best you can. I'm doing the best I can, you guys. I'm still, like I'm saying, I'm not a content creator. I'm not doing all this fancy stuff. I'm really just trying to get Daniel's story out there. So again, this is not an entertainment channel. It is for me to be able to try my best, do the best I can to get Daniel's story out there. I mean, I've hurt all the time, not knowing where my son, his mother hurts all the time, not knowing where her son is. So, the family, we hurt all the time, not knowing where Daniel is. So we really, really need your help. Thank you again, Esther, for being here. All Buckeye have done in Daniel's case is take credit from all your hard work. And yes, that's true. They haven't even update their website on Daniel's case since 2021, and they can't, because there's nothing there. Even the things you see on that website, like you said, will be taking credit for things. I had even a point of them trying to take, it's amazing, you guys. You hear the Buckeye Police Department say, "Oh, it's only 2 human remains that's found out there," right? That's what they say. And I remember in the past, you got to look at the logics of that. The only reason why I was able to get up to 7 or 8 human remains found out that persons out there is because of Buckeye. I didn't go out and find bones as a search. We didn't go out and find bones and say, "Hey, this is a human bone, and this is how many, and this that." We got those things, answers from the Buckeye Police Department. My website is set up. You go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. You guys, you can go on to submit information. That's a way that volunteers submit the pictures and the location of these pictures, the bones we take pictures of, and send it up to them. It goes straight to the Buckeye Police Department, and also my investigator at the time and myself, and they the one call us back. We wait on their answer on these bones, and they tell us, "Hey, this is human remains." They send it over to the Maricopa County's medical examiner's office, the pictures, and then they'll come back and say, "Hey, yes, those are human remains," and they would come to collect those things, right? So that's how we got those numbers. But then once the thing became national, of course, you guys, of course, the Buckeye Police Department has a history of falsifying documents when it comes to crime statistics. They want to make it look lower, like no crime is happening in Buckeye. Yeah, they came back and said, "Oh, now they're trying to publicly dismiss those." But go back what I was saying, I had to call the Maricopa County medical examiner's office myself, because one of the volunteers alerted me, "Mr. Robinson, don't you know that all the human remains that was found out there, the 7 or 8 individuals, the Buckeye Police Department tried to take credit for that." Right, and it was right. I went to the website, and you can see where those on the medical examiner's office would say Buckeye Police Department found this, and Buckeye Police. And I called them and I told them, "Hey, look, that's falsifying documents." And they apologized. I still have the email. They apologized to me and they corrected their errors, right? And say it was found under the volunteers on my search. So, not saying I need some credit or anything like that, but that's the way the Buckeye Police Department operates. Like you said, Esther, is to take credit. Just recently, you guys saw them giving themselves praise about searching for Daniel. This department has not done any serious search for Daniel. And the Maricopa County in, I think that was in February when I had was going to have the protest. You guys probably remember the physical protest at the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. They contacted me and asked me to hold out. That's why you guys told me I was telling you guys I was pending the protest. They called me and asked me to hold out on the protest to see if they could do some of those things that we asked for, which they haven't done one of those things so far. But and I'm not gonna say those things what those are, but they gave us some assurances on some things, and they haven't produced it and kept their end of the word, what they say it's going to do. I want to say bargain. But the thing was, I did hold out my protest, and it worked because the protest is coming. They didn't want to protest, I'm sure, at the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, and they end up saying they're going to do the search. They did a search. They did a search through the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office themselves. But then, well, like I said, after the search, you saw the Buckeye Police Department taking praise as if it was their operation, when indeed it was the Maricopa County's Sheriff's Office operation. So that's, again, is an example of how the Buckeye Police Department, and the only way I can look at this now at hindsight, look at the Maricopa County reasoning for doing the search wasn't necessarily to help me find Daniel. It's more so to help the Buckeye Police Department look good. Like I told you guys before, the blue looks out for the blue. The blue looks out for the blue. I don't care if it's your life, it's a state. If it's anything that's gonna make the police department look bad, another agency would try to help that department look good, even at the detriment of a loved one. So I'm saying, you guys, that's why you got to push law enforcement to do the right stuff, because they won't. They won't. They're law enforcement, but they won't do the right thing. Not when it comes to hurting one of their own. That's how they look at it, right? And that's, again, I'm gonna reiterate that. That's where you can say there's no such thing as a good police officer. Not a good police. I mean, I say individual police officer, but as a department as a whole. Because if you cannot police the police, and you're a law enforcement agency, especially with the Maricopa County, who has jurisdiction, then that says a lot about that department. You got to look at it that way. You cannot have it both ways. Cannot be a law enforcement agency that enforces law, but then overlook it when it's another fellow law enforcement officer or agency that's doing a crime. All right. Also, but that credit, again, Esther, I really appreciate that. I truly appreciate that for pointing that out. They have been doing that since 2021. They have not. It's nothing updated. They cannot add additional things except for say things. Oh yeah, we did the search, or we talked to this person again, or whatever. They have not produced anything, you guys. I'm telling you from day one. There's no cell phone pings. I'm still waiting on. There's no information from that Uconnect that they're claiming is all zero grids. They changed the passwords and stuff, and I'm looking up the stuff, and I cannot find it where they say you got to have an account for those things to actually operate. I'm going by their first word. They told me on this call, and told us that somebody tampered with that. They said Uconnect says the only reason why it has zero grids because somebody disconnected the battery or tampered with the device, that type deal. So that is an indication of foul play. But they would ignore that, and they would not put that in the report. Also, Pineapple, thanks so much for being here. Pineapple Porcupine, Arizona's finest. The only place I've lived where involving the police is guaranteed to make a situation worse. I feel so bad for you and your family. Your family, keep fighting. Thank you so much, Pineapple, for being here this morning and your comment on that. I have heard other cases. I talked to family members who came out to search, or just people in general, inbox in the past, who live out in Buckeye. They tell me situations, what happened to their family, dealing with the Buckeye Police Department. So I do know some stories as well, some things that have been happening, and that kind of gave me a real good outlook on where the department really is when I started looking at those things hindsight. At the beginning, I heard those things, but sometimes you have to learn yourself in certain areas, which you shouldn't. You should learn from other people's experience. But I learned that when I went to the city council meetings, for instance, when that stone-faced department, I mean, I say it ain't just the Buckeye Police Department, it's also their leadership that when it comes to the mayor, the vice mayor, all those city council members, the city manager, all of them, they all the same. And that's why they work so well together. They're the same people. You walk in there, I'm telling you, they looked at me as this black man walking up in there for my son, and it had this stone face. I never felt it felt cold. I felt like I was in the refrigerator. It's so cold in there. The cold stone faces, stone figures looking at me like, what the hell are you doing here? At that point, I have been doing over, I think, like 30 some weeks or of searches, have been found those human remains in my searches. And, if anything, a mayor would know what's going on in his city. They would have concerns. The city manager should have been doing some things as well. They could have either just reached out and say, hey, Mr. Robinson, we doing everything we can, or our condolences or something, give you something. But these stone-faced people showed me exactly who they are. Like Maya Angelou would say, if they show you who they are, believe them. When they show you, they show me exactly who they are. Cold-faced people do not have any empathy for others. That's what the Buckeye Police Department, whole city manager and structure gave to me. So anyway, thank you so much for being here, Pineapple. Shauna, thanks so much for putting the information out. You guys, those who are on the YouTube channel can see this stuff that the content, my moderators are putting in the chats. Those who may be on Instagram, well, not Instagram, but Facebook and Twitter, may not be able to see those things until they come up on the screen. So what is the mail-in protest? She's reminding you of those letters, and those also, I call them mail stuffers. You can go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com, and that information will be there, available for you there. So you can learn about, how you can help when it comes to the mail-in protest that's still ongoing. You guys, I put this on the bottom of the screen again. You guys, if you have any information, I want to make sure you keep that up about my son's case. The person you have been someone or someone just coming in that have been following the case and know something. And here it is, almost 2 years next month, and you haven't said anything yet because you're reluctant or whatever the case may be. I'm giving you another opportunity. Please, and I'm asking you from the bottom of my heart, if you know something or you have any information that would bring my son home. Direct information, you guys, is what I'm looking for. Utilize that tip line. I really need that information to, no matter what it is, to bring my son back wherever that may be, whatever that may mean, but bring him back home to us, our family, and because we need some closure too. Other families unfortunately have gotten some closures or form of closure, like that, like I like to call it, from the efforts out there in the desert. It's not the closures that they want, but it's a form of closure, because and I have to say form because it's so much I can talk about the details of that, and no family would want to know those things about their loved one, and that's very painful for them. It's painful for me to even know that a family had to go through that. But at least they have some answers to that close that doubt. It's always this case where sometimes you go and we have a missing person in your family. You go every day. It's a difference. Like I said, I have some family situations going on, and the family situations are things that's happening now that but when you have a missing loved one, missing child especially too, and you don't have those answers, your mind is always wondering. They are dead or they're alive. You just don't know. And those type deals, it bothers you. It bothers you. It's one of those things that just can't. That's not you don't have a closure to that kind of thought. So again, that's what tip line is on the bottom of the screen. If those persons or person know something, please utilize that tip line to help my family and myself come to a form of closure. I truly appreciate it. Also, thank you again. You guys, okay, if you have a question, thank you, Pineapple, for your question. If you guys have any questions, please put the word question mark, a capital letter Q, before your question. That'll help me see it, and I know a question coming up. But thank you, Pineapple, for your question. Does anyone know when the next search is? I have a big 4x4 truck that can get almost anywhere, and we'd love to help. And I really appreciate that. My goal is has always been, is to complete some little areas out there in that desert that need to be completed. That's things that always never settles in my mind. As a father, you could tell, you feel about what I'm feeling when you have searches out there, and the volunteers out there doing our very best. We are working hard, trying to locate anything that would bring Daniel home if he's out there, God forbid. And at the same time, we can't complete the snoring desert is big. You can't. It's hard, especially we don't have the equipment like law enforcement have, the technology, etc. We're able to cover some ground. However, at the same time, there's some areas that just haven't been done yet. And so those things always in the back of my mind. Hey, maybe if we didn't do this side right here, we did this side, and if Daniel's out there, we could have brought him home by now. But um, that thing's always in my mind. So I really, that's always gonna be some mind thoughts of having a search out there again in that Sonoran Desert. At the same time, I want to say Pineapple. My goal right now, like I said, having this justice for Daniel, as well as getting law enforcement to do some of those things that I know could be done, as well as my next search efforts will be more mainly based on, because I'm still investigating. I haven't stopped. I haven't stopped trying to put things together, information together, and find out what I need to do next when it comes to investigate my son's disappearance. Um, any efforts out there to search will be based on that. Rather, that information that I have, and I put these things, continue to put these things together, will lead me to have a search. As you guys come help me search a area back out in this that Sonoran Desert area where Daniel allegedly went missing, or another location like I did before when I had a special ops search based on my investigation. Um, I will let you guys know, and that's where it's at right now. Right now, I'm still fighting for this justice, and at the same time, trying to put the best place that in place possible. If there's an actual physical ground search where that would be located, it might not even be located in that area. Is what I'm saying. It might not even be located in the area where Daniel allegedly went missing, and the area where that vehicle was purposely placed there to lead us there. So it may not be there. It may be in some other areas, and I can say it that way. And it could be coming too soon. It's getting hot in Arizona. This is one of the worst times. We did it last year. Not last year, in 2021. Did it last year as well. But this is hot, and I try to make sure I keep you guys' safety in mind. Um, Again, I will say often, I'm not willing at all, not one little bit, to risk anybody's life just to find my son, and Daniel wouldn't even approve of that. So I just wanted to say that. So, but yes, I'll let you know, Pineapple, you will see, like on the introduction, you'll see on the pleasehelpfinddaniel.com website, if there's an upcoming event like a search anywhere, those things will come up on the website as well. Like I said here, and also, you get the information that way on the social media accounts as well. So thanks, Pineapple, for even offering and saying that you'll be there. You have a 4x4, and we definitely need them. You already know that in that area we definitely need those type vehicles. Also, thank you, Ellen, for being here this morning. I really appreciate it. God bless you, and so being here this morning. And thank you, Shauna, for putting this information right here. Please use the capital letter Q, the question mark, or the word questions to ask any and all questions, so it can be easily seen by me. Thank you so much, Shauna, for putting information there. Also, the hashtags again, Justice for Daniel, call them out. You guys can utilize those on your social media account. Good morning, Sophia. Again, Sophia, you guys know her So Fresh smell, but definitely you guys know her as a moderator. First of all, she's here, as well as she's the treasurer for the Daniel Ross Foundation. Also, like I said, the board member, treasurer for the Daniel Ross Foundation, as well as a team member and my friend. So thanks so much, Sophia, for being here this morning and helping out on this YouTube channel. I'm trying to avoid to say Q&A, you guys. I'm trying to stop calling it a Q&A, but we do have Q&A. I will be answering questions and things. Another Maria. Thank you again. Your criticism of Buckeye Police Department continues to be fact-based, and you have them lots of opportunity to make it right then. And I really the crazy part about it, you guys, I remember some of the things I used to, because a lot of things I could have said more about the Buckeye Police Department. For instance, when they came out to, I asked them, I had to literally send Chief Hall a letter, and really I forced the issue. The way I forced this issue is I always CC like the mayors and some of these high other officials. They could all see me sending these letters to Chief Hall, so he can't say he didn't receive it, and the content of the letter, etc. His response was he did send out a couple of officers that came empty-handed, right? Like they did the last time. They come empty-handed, hands in their pocket, pretty much. I don't think they even had a gun on their side. I don't know. But the thing is, they did not come with the reasoning why I'm asking law enforcement to come out is to provide some of these resources that law enforcement have. Let's do the search together as a community. Let's community search for my son. They don't do that. The thing was they came empty-handed, but they promised to come later that week, the next following week, to search this well that I had concern about. You guys knew that time before I did the search myself. And I did the search myself because of what Buckeye did. They came there with a makeshift camera that weekday. All the volunteers gone, myself and Larnell and the other another retired police officer. We all came out there to meet the Buckeye Police Department and to look at this well. They came with this camera that wasn't even submersible. It's some makeshift camera they got with these older guys from, I guess they called itself the Maricopa County Posse or something. And it came out this makeshift camera that couldn't even be submerged in water. They got pissed when the water barely touched the bottom of their camera. It was this thing they did. They put that to the water level and pull it back out. Said, nothing else to see here, that type deal, right? It was very disappointing. Disappointing when I finally thought I can give the Buckeye Police Department some type of praise. Say, oh yeah, well they came out, they made up for coming up to hand it to the search that time when I asked them, and they came out and they searched as well, right? They even brought the dog that looked like a family pet, white, pure white, pretty little dog, as a family, look like a family pet, and they call it a cadaver dog. To this date, have not provided paperwork I asked for. They say they're going to give me to show that the dog is certified as a cadaver dog. They had another dog in a vehicle they never pulled out of there that looked like, to me, he could have been a cadaver dog. He was more of that. I don't know if cadaver dog's supposed to look, but he fit the part. But that dog they never pull that dog out. So what I'm saying, you guys, they put that camera down to barely touch that water. And everybody knew they was doing. I was talking about it on social media here on this channel. And so I didn't want to, and even at that time, I didn't want to make them look bad. I didn't want them to look bad. So I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. I said, oh yeah, they came out and they did this, blah, blah, blah. I even did a live video, with Grizzly True Crime as well as my own type deal. And it didn't say anything about the Buckeye Police Department. But I was mad. I was angry, you guys. I was angry in the background because they half-ass gave my son, they did a half-ass job, is what I saw. And so behind the scenes, I decided to do it myself. And that's where you guys see where I found those concerns in that well when I had it done myself, right? Outside of law enforcement. And so that's the thing I'm talking about right there. When I say the criticism, it's not because I just hate the Buckeye Police Department or hate police or something. They give you reasons to. They haven't done anything. They haven't done anything to bring me answers. I'm a serious father looking for my son. I didn't travel over 2,000 miles just to put my hands in my pocket or something and think, not look like let them do what they want to do and they're not actually looking for my son. No, I didn't come all the way to Arizona for that, right? And they know that. I came there serious, searching for my son, begging the community, begging for money. Something I don't do, you guys. Despite of guys, how you guys see the GoFundMe, for instance, that's something I would never do in life. I'd rather die almost than ask anybody for anything. And the thing is, it took a lot. It took a lot from a father like myself to even get this thing going on the ground. You think I was in Arizona just to be playing around? No. I'm there looking for my son, and I'm continuing to do so. So yeah, of course, I don't want to always sound critical of law enforcement, but I just point it out. When it's wrong, I'm going to point it out. When it's right, I'll point that out too. So that's the way it is. I don't care about feelings, and I say it over and over again on this Q&A, this channel. I don't care about feelings. I don't care about grown men at a police department's feelings. Oh, you hurt my feelings, so I'm not going to do. Forget your feelings. Just do your job. Your job has nothing to do with your feelings. When I'm in the military, my job had nothing to do with my feelings. I had to do my job. So anyway, getting from that thanks so much, yep, another Maria, for your comment as well. Team Wildflower, thank you again for being here. Thank you for the hashtag. I truly appreciate that. Angel Baby, appreciate it. Esther, thanks so much. Mr. Rosen, no parents should have to go through what you did after you reported your son missing. The disrespect and the face from that you face from law enforcement is inhumane. They broke their own policies. Yeah, they broke their own policies day one. And you're right. The pain, saying that the Buckeye Police Department put my family and I through. Just the whole point of, I look at even the smaller things that's big. Like my daughter and I, she coming to the searches at the beginning. I stopped her from coming to searches, guys, and my other children told them they couldn't come. And the reasons why, we were to have found Daniel, God forbid, they don't need to remember their brother in that manner. I had to deal with things like that in Afghanistan. I had to deal with it here in Arizona, seeing those human remains. That is hard. That's hard for anybody, but especially if it's end up being a loved one. So I didn't want that to happen. But the thing is, there's a disrespect from the Buckeye Police Department, just with the family in general. Like I said, the low communication that they had given my family and I, also as well as the fact that when we first came out to the Buckeye Police Department and they set us down, my daughter, they call us there, hey, we want to ask you some questions. They didn't bring us to the front door. They told us to come around the back of the side of the building. They opened up this gate, put us in the back side of the building, and brought us through the back door. Brought us through the back door and put us straight into an interrogation room. I don't know, didn't know at the time what an interrogation room, because I'm not a criminal. I had never been in an interrogation room. But you see those things on television, and the table and the room lot like that, and I thought about it. I was like, why are we in an interrogation room? Disrespect for the family, disrespectful things. When Chief Hall came to the search right after the vehicle showed up, for instance, the chief of the police, the big head guy, came out there, didn't acknowledge us and say, hey, I just had a meeting with them a day or two before. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Rowley? And kept walking past like me and my daughter didn't resist and start yelling with the crowd, wanting them to see where this vehicle was located, right? We followed him like I tell you, I use the word like he was Moses or something. We were following him across the Red Sea or something. And we making it to this area where we didn't know as a family. The disrespect was have never been taken out to this location by the police department to see this location beforehand. But he was wanting to show a crowd of people who came out to my searches where this vehicle. I mean, very disrespectful, you guys. But I'm saying it's just the total disrespect. I can go on and on and on about it, but it's a trauma that the law enforcement been putting my family through from day one. Those little things like that, that's trauma. That's trauma, and it causes pain, causes a lot of pain and disrespect. So yes, you're right. All the disrespect that we've been facing as a family, and you wonder why I need my son Case moved out of this apartment. There's so much of feelings of cover-ups and everything else that goes on with the Buckeye Police Department. Also, thank you again, Shauna, for putting this information up. Are you following and being supportive of another missing person case? Yes, because I'll tell you guys, I'm glad you put that out, Shauna. Please, like I'm gonna finish reading that. Please share email pleasehelpfinddaniel.com, where you can come on and speak about your loved one. Yes, and that's what this channel is for as well. You guys to have families on. I've been trying. Shauna's been working especially hard in the backgrounds too to bring families on to this channel and to share the story. So definitely, yeah, you guys, this is not just a Daniel story. It's a missing person story. Daniel's just my family as well. We're just what happens in this country. The same thing over and over again every day. God forbid. I know it's sad to say, but I'm sure someone went missing this morning. And it's sad in 2023 that law enforcement can say they don't know what happened to a person they disappeared, especially with the information and not the urgency that's not there. That's what caused it. All this little stuff, the little small things, like I said, making me wait 12 hours when there was no policy that says you have to wait. That causes a person to be missing. The lack of concern, apathy when they found out the person is an adult, young adult, old adult, and they treat it like, oh, that's adult, forget them. We don't care. I seen them. I seen people treat a 12-year-old dog that won't go missing a lot better than they treat a human being. Think about it. You got dogs that go missing all across the thing. You probably had law enforcement climb. You got fire department climbing a tree to get a cat out of a tree or something. I'm just saying, for an animal. But we have humans out there going missing every day, and we have slack movements from law enforcement. That's why I say again, you guys, my goal is to keep fighting for a different approach when it comes to handling missing person cases. Same thing. They feel like law enforcement should not be handling mental health calls, crisis calls, because they go around and just shoot people because they have mental health issues or whatever, they have mental crisis or whatever. Yeah, I really believe they should have the department within the department that, especially states like Arizona, should have a department within the department that just specialize only on missing person cases and have those resources really available. Family call them and they going out to do their thing. So, and be experts at it. Angie, baby, thank you again. I'll keep Daniel's name out here. Yes, got to keep pushing that. Thank you, Rainy J. Good morning, Mr. Robinson. Still praying. Thanks so much for your prayers and for answers for you and your family. Thank you so much, Rainy J. Esther, thank you again for being here this morning and your constant support. Time for fresh eyes on Daniel's case. Nearly 2 years now. It just takes one official to step up, and you're right, and that's what I'm asking for. Fresh eyes on the case, and you put the nail right on there. Exactly, fresh eyes on the case. The Buckeye Police Department haven't produced anything that brought us any closer, and they don't have the facilities, they don't have the will, in my opinion, and to do the right thing. They have been damaging Dane's case from day one, and I need them to stop. They broke chain of custodies to you name it. I need a new department that can handle my son's case, handle me as a father who's really advocating and fighting hard for to take on my son's case and do the right thing. And only logical place is the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, which my son went missing in Maricopa County. They have a jurisdictional responsibility that Sheriff Zone, I had to call his name out, is obviously not willing to really do. I mean, I don't care about this other blue stuff. I don't need to see Sheriff Zone or anybody trying to look out for another law enforcement agency. No, do your job as a sheriff, and you have a jurisdictional responsibility. My son went missing in your county. I say you should open up your own investigation. You have the will and the ability to do that. Open up your don't use that crutch of saying, "Oh, I don't want to go on to step over, be the bitch sheriff coming into somebody else investigate." Forget their investigation. Start your own investigation in that case. It doesn't know with no excuses. They make the excuses and try to go around, try to use that as an excuse not to do something. And that's another thing what Larnell pointed out with the Buckeye Police Department. Tempe should have had the case, Daniel's case at the beginning. My son's resident Tempe, etc. We can debate that all day. The thing is, when they push me over to the Buckeye Police Department, most departments, like Larnell would say, will be doing exactly what I think the Maricopa County is doing. Try and pass the ball to somebody else because they don't want to do it, right? They don't want to add some more caseloads to their department. So that type thing. Nobody wanted to say, "Oh yeah, let me do it, let me do it, let me do it." And that's the way it seemed that the Buckeye Police Department had done. And for what reason? You can kind of imagine just by looking at the way they handle this case now. Andrew, baby, again, thanks so much. I lived in Buckeye for 3 years, and they absolutely dropped the ball on many things, and they have. Everybody have good moments, but yeah, they did a lot. I heard a lot of stories for some other families that they had to go through with the Buckeye Police Department. Shauna, thanks so much. Question, you have a question here. Thanks so much. Have you heard from any law enforcement with updates or acknowledgments of the mail-in protests in the past month? A little over a month. Yeah, I heard just a little something, some movement. I can tell just about not just saying direct, say, hey, your mail-in protest, why you're doing it or whatever the case may be. But also movement to some other people I'm working with that would would show kind of like the mail-in protest is actually working, you guys. So I really appreciate that. I really need you guys to continue to do that because I wish I don't have no way of knowing how many actually going into these apartments, how many, and how often, because I'm not tracking things that way. I'm just asking you guys to do that for me. So, but yeah, I can tell something's happening based on the fact that once the mailing process started, I started seeing some chatter in a sense, for lack of words. And so, yes, but no direct stuff, especially from Chief Hall. I don't expect I'll be honest with you guys, I don't expect anything from the Buckeye Police Department. I don't expect anything from them. I have never seen anything from the past. Like I said, I call it apathy, especially that Chief Hall. I call it apathy. They can give a damn, right? Like I said, anytime a law enforcement agency um, is by provoked not to talk to a family based on physical evidence that destroy a theory of a head injury that caused you to shred your clothes, that the car flipped and rolled, that it was there for 30 days, all this kind of stuff, this crazy nonsense. He joined a monastery, become a monk. When that rebuttal of that theory they have, the Buckeye Police Department, their theory, they still trying to stand on, you guys. To this day, I talked to that the other day. He said, I still say it was like, they doubled down on it. When the physical evidence is there, and when the physical evidence came, instead of law enforcement embracing physical evidence that they haven't found, because they haven't found it, because he told me, the detective, I got the recording. He told me the reason why he didn't do no forensic work at the scene. He didn't see no reason to. But my investigated and did the stuff that they should have done at the scene and got the information, you guys. Like I'm saying, but instead of embracing that, they hated it. And it took 2 months. They sat down on it for 2 months and then come up their own investigator to rebut it. The only way I look at it. And so instead of embracing it and then immediately when we gave them that stuff, they stopped talking to me. I'm telling you guys, the communication with the Buckeye Police stopped. They wouldn't answer my calls. Wouldn't get back to me at the time. It stopped. Everything started becoming bitter, right? I was talking to the Buckeye Police Department quite a bit, you guys, before that vehicle showed up. I was constantly heck, like I told you guys, my website itself set up to for the Buckeye Police Department to get all the information immediately. That tip line you guys see on the bottom of the screen, I had it attached with the Buckeye Police Department as well. I cut it off because when I realized that, wait a minute now, you guys, and I'll tell you my true feelings about that. I looked back, how I started looking at things. I'm like, they have produced not one thing yet that brought me closer to finding my son. And everything coming from me, I'm like, then I started thinking, I said, I don't work for Buckeye, and what really made me feel that way is when Chief Hall, when I asked him to, can he get the FBI into my son's case, I sent that was the first letter I sent to him, you guys, explaining my son was missing in a crime scene, etc. And the first thing he did before he said, yeah, he'd get the FBI, the case review or whatever, he accused me of holding back information. He does it every time. You guys, in this letter I sent to him with asking him to have my son's case moved over to Maricopa County. Every time, this guy, I want to say words, guys, I had almost slipped of a mouth. This guy always tried to accuse me of holding back evidence. How I'm holding back anything when everything you guys see to this date have been produced by my efforts to find my son. They haven't came up with zero. That maybe they mad, they're jealous because they haven't done anything. I don't know what the case may be. But that accusation, I told my attorney before, I said, he got to stop accusing me and lying and saying things in letters like that, because it offends me. And especially when I give them everything and they have a movement. The tips that comes in, you guys, to Sedona, to Flagstaff, and some other places, that came from me as well, right? Giving over to the Buckeye Police Department too. And I told you one time, they even told me they waited like 2 months after or so after, they must have got confused or something. And I'm listening to the detective telling me my own story. Yeah, we followed this lead up in Flagstaff at this Sprouts grocery store. I'm like, dude, we did that 2 months ago. And we told you about it. He's telling me my own story. again, trying to take credit for something we did and act like they did it, that type deal. So, I haven't heard anything, but Shauna, no, I haven't heard anything direct, especially from the Buckeye Police Department. Um, no movements at all from them. I don't expect any movements from them at all outside of anything. It's kind of crazy. They waited almost 2 years and try to pretend like they're doing something, asking me for things. I don't trust that department. And I'll be straight up with you guys. I don't trust them at all. Pineapple, thanks so much again for being here. It's not about credit. It's about holding them accountable. Good job. Keep standing strong. Yes, definitely keep them accountable. And definitely going to keep pushing them to get this justice for my son. They need to be out of, and why they want to hold on to Daniel's case. If the Maricopa County need that for whatever reason, which they don't, why hold on to it? Why not let it go? And this is not, they say this is my case, like this is their son. This is my son, my case, and I'm whatever. Holding my son's case hostage, I'm Daniel's father. I'm requesting my son's case to be reviewed by someone else outside the Buckeye Police Department. There should be no problem with that. Should be no problem at all. Outside of them, like I said, having their hostage situation, ego or whatever you want to call it. If you see something, say something, you guys, and that's why the tip line is on the bottom. 24 hours, 7 days a week. I pay for their service. 24 hours, 7 days a week. Live operators take your call. If you don't want to, nobody know who you are, you could be anonymous. They allow you to do that as well. If you don't want to talk to anyone, you can just text the word tip to that same number. Form will come up. You can still stay anonymous if you like. So again, thank you so much, you guys, and thanks, Sean, for putting that out. Angela Baby has a question here. Has the vehicle or items outside the car been tested for fingerprints? No. Nothing else been tested. We don't even know as a family if that's even Daniel's clothing on the ground. They told us, this is clothes. And I mean, we don't recognize those clothes. We never see him wear those. My daughter, she lives in Arizona, never seen them clothes on his body. They claim it is his, right? Well, let's see that. Guys, I'm telling you, this whole case is pretty much common sense stuff too. The Maricopa County, which I don't know why they attached themselves with Buckeye, but Buckeye said they did is search on the 19th when the vehicle showed up right out there in the desert, and they claim they used these Maricopa County dogs, right? Which the rancher says only one dog, but let's go ahead and I can talk about that, but let's go ahead and go their way. They say they use all these dogs. I mean, they almost make it sound like they had 12 dogs or something. They had all these dogs, right? Had cadaver dogs, search dogs, you name it. They had these dogs out there, right? Didn't find a human skull that was right there, right? First of all, that's already suspect. But they told me to my face, the Buckeye Police Department, because I asked them, I say, that day when they told me on 20, over 24 hours later, they called me and told me to start asking questions. Of course, I'm asking questions. We didn't find Daniel. I didn't give a damn about the vehicle. Excuse me the expression, you guys. Did you find my son? No, we didn't find Daniel. We didn't see no tracks, him walking away from the scene. The dogs, said they track them. The dogs can, track them, leaving, whatever the case may be, they claim, right? Dogs ain't track nothing. So that tell you with the evidence that's saying the vehicle's placed there, that goes along with that as well, you guys, because they literally had these dogs that's supposed to be able to track things, right? With their nose, hound dogs, whatever they got. If that was Daniel's clothing on the ground, there you go. His vehicle's there. There's things in that vehicle belonging to Daniel as well. His scent. They're so confident that Daniel's on the drive in his vehicle. His scent in the vehicle. Those dogs have something. In other words, those dogs have something to go by, is what I'm saying. To go track if Daniel was there. Daniel was not on that scene. I'm telling you guys, that was a stage event, like my investigator found with hard evidence. But the law enforcement is going double down, right? On information they haven't even done. You haven't done forensics on the scene. What you doubling down from? Or we triangulate on the cell. You haven't even got a cell phone ping. What you mean triangulate what? What you triangulating? Nothing. Y'all get the point I'm making. They're just making things up to try to make sure they stick with their story. And the only way I can see any law enforcement sticking with a story that don't make sense and don't go with hard physical evidence and everything, common sense, and you name it, I call it cover up. It has to be a big reason why they're doing it the way they're doing it, trying to force the issue. And I thought I was going to be some father that just leave and go back to South Carolina and they just got away with whatever they want to do. No, I'm not that kind of person. You guys, like I said before, I've been throwing in flesh. But yes, none of that stuff have been tested. None of the items. I haven't even seen the physical. They say they did this testing of the swabbing of the steering wheel or whatever, right? Swabbing. As for fingerprints, like you said, that's the reason why my investigator never seen whatever they use, the stuff they use to dust and fingerprint. None of that is on that vehicle. Nothing. None of that, because they never did that either. I'm assuming, and that they even fingerprinted the vehicle inside, interior, nothing. Right? They claim they swabbed the steering wheel and shifter. No airbag testing. The airbags hit people in the face and skin and all kind of stuff. Um, all the airbags should be tested, seeing who I was in that vehicle, that type stuff. And they hide behind the shield and say it's not a criminal case. Well, how you know it's not a criminal case? You haven't even tried to find criminality into it. You just look at the evidence and just ignore the evidence to try to make it just a missing person case. Daniel did this to himself. The first thing he wanted to do is try to bring up a woman, try to paint my son as some stalker, that didn't work. Before the stalking thing with this young lady, they want to paint him off as some mentally ill guy. So he got some issues. He was down and whatever, that kind of stuff. I'm down. I'm feeling down. You don't come up missing because you're feeling down. I have a missing son. I'm feeling down. You know, so that kind of deal. Let's see here. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Aaron Chase, for being here. I really appreciate you being here this morning. Thanks so much for all your love and support that you do. I truly appreciate you. God bless you. As well as Coco Puff, thanks so much for being here. Good morning to you as well. Aaron, thanks so much for your question. I wonder if Buckeye Police Department brought you through the back door to keep your image from being seen in the lobby CCTV for some reason. Possibly. I wouldn't put nothing past that department. So possibly, I say possibly, I don't know, but I wouldn't put anything past that department at this point. East Sands, thanks so much for being here as well. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for taking time to come out to this channel, YouTube channel. Mom, thanks so much. Mom Jeans, thanks so much for being here as well. Again, coming out. Toto 83, thank you for your constant support. I really appreciate it. I think you're from, England, right? But thanks so much for being here and definitely taking your time out to be a part of this channel, talking about my son. So, but anyway, you guys, I want to talk about this mail-in protest really quick. And, you guys know that this thing is ongoing, and keep going. And I'm not going to really stop. And I'm going to put the little thing I always do. I know you've seen it before, but I had to put it here for those who have not been on this channel before. I do have to add this on, but when there's no justice, you guys, there would be no peace. I'm gonna constantly fight for justice for my son. So definitely, no justice, no peace means that there can be no peace without justice, and I'm definitely going to continue to fight for Daniel. No justice, no peace means can be no peace without justice. Daniel's been missing nearly 2 years, which would be next month, you guys. And that's a hard take for me and my family. Is a big hard take for us right now to just be dealing with that. Just the fact that it's been this long and we still haven't gotten the justice that Daniel need. I'm advocating for Daniel. He can't speak for himself, so I'm going to fight for him. My experience of searching for Daniel, of course, you guys, was putting on my investigator hat. That's the reason why you guys have all the information that you have now about my son's case that law enforcement haven't provided at all, period. My search hat, I don't think they can say they did ever. They'll say, hey, we did a search or something. And we didn't find nothing. We didn't find a construction cone. We didn't find a hairpin. We didn't even find our own fingers, my hands in front of our face. We couldn't find nothing out there in the desert searching for this Daniel. you guys. But you guys know that what we have volunteers and myself, we worked out there and was able to do. Put on investigative hat as well. I've been investigating from day one. It didn't just start with the Buckeye Police Department failing. It started from the day I hit the ground, you guys. The first person I interviewed was Ken at the well site. You guys know that on the timeline. You guys seen that as well as I put in my search hat. 48 weeks of searches, 35,000 acres of land covered, as well as being an advocate. Started the Daniel Ross Foundation, as well as doing this, putting other families on, and also trying to advocate for other families as well, doing this journey. My priority, though, my primary is for my son. Of course, I have to. I'm a father, but at the same time, I want to make sure I'm helping other people as I'm going along the way. I feel that law enforcement has failed Daniel and my family. Um, Injustice, the effects of injustice. Injustice creates anger, frustration, and a sense of powerlessness. It can lead to social unrest and protest. Let's work towards justice, and that's the reason why you guys, I'm really depending on you guys. This is a grassroots movement. Because law enforcement was slow to act initially, Daniel remains missing, and you guys know that the fact there's no such thing as a 12-hour wait that they made me do. We did our due diligence as a family, so we know that Daniel was in trouble when he was. Law enforcement failed to act. They failed to do a simple welfare check properly, as well as the fact of waiting, like I said, having me wait, and as well as not going out into the desert to search until almost 3 days after he went missing. Because law enforcement refused to take the physical evidence of foul play I gave them, Daniel's justice has been hampered, and you guys know what that is exactly. Again, Daniel, and all physical evidence that's there that suggests foul play, the narratives that's there as well, that ties into the fact someone's in Daniel's apartments, et cetera, et cetera. All this information is from my own efforts, and law enforcement's falling behind, and they will not accept the facts of the case. Also, I have a solution to this problem. I am demanding that the Buckeye Police Department release my son's case to an outside agency that will bring results. And that agency, again, you guys, Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, as well as the FBI. Since my son was missing, the Buckeye Police Department has not found anything bringing us closer to answers. When I say us, I'm talking about all of us that have interest in my son's case. We do not have those answers, you guys, if we relied on law enforcement to this date. Could you imagine, you guys, if I would have been in South Carolina, never came out of Arizona, and I was calling every day, asking did they find anything, getting new leads, get this, and we would never know about the 11 additional miles on the vehicle. We'd never learn about the red transfer paint. We'd have never known about, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, the tampering of Dane's apartment after the vehicle showed up to, you name it. All the stuff you guys know about Dane's case would not even be existing, because you already see they haven't produced anything. There would have been no finding of human remains out in the desert area where that vehicle. So all those people, families would have still been lying on that ground out there in that desert if I did not come out to Arizona. Also, they do not have available cell phone pings to this date, you guys. No traffic camera footage to this date, and they do not have the location that the Uconnect Dane's vehicle provide. And they have not even thought about the fact that what they remember, they told me they know this stuff is facts. They told me that the Uconnect company, whatever you want to call them, told them that the only way that happened, they claim it a zero grid thing, and someone tampered with it. They disconnect the battery source, etc. Everything that can help in finding Daniel seems to be conveniently blocked by the Buckeye Police Department. We provided, all, like I said again, the physical evidence of foul play, of the vehicle being dumped in that location, and they rejected it by trying to hire their own private investigator who have never seen Daniel's vehicle, touch it, or anything to rebut those physical hard findings. Now they are blocking other agencies that may be able to help. I didn't come out to Arizona for their games. I came out there to find my son, and they're blocking other agencies that can actually help do that, find my son. and we're going to fight for this change, you guys. I'm not going to stop. What we can do, we can peacefully protest in two forms. I created a mail-in protest to get targeted departments' attention and action, and that's what I'm doing, you guys. That's what this whole mail-in protest is about. The physical protest, I did get a suggestion that I'm considering as well as a sit-in, you guys, at the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. I mean, sit inside the building itself, the sit-in at this department. To get targeted departments. That's what we do to protest at their departments. I need you to join us and invite your family and friends. This is a grassroots effort. There's power in the people, and thank you guys for being a part of that. So I really truly appreciate you. Also, the fact that this mail-in protest, like I said, is one of the things that we'll get the answers and get get what we need, you guys. I'm really confident in that. What I'm asking for is a change of jurisdiction. The Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, the Sheriff's Zone knows that. The Tempe Police Department knows that, as well as the Buckeye. They know that. I've been having meetings with these guys, etc. Right? So it's no secret. They also know that my son's case is a criminal case, and they need to be deemed a criminal case. And I've been asking that for months, for almost over a year. Been asking for my son's case. When this vehicle showed up and we found this information to be turned over to be a criminal case, would provide more resources, as well as looking into the available evidence that I provided for the law enforcement to explore, as well as the fact that I'm still housing hard evidence and physical evidence, and it's costly, you guys. There's in jeopardy of me losing those items, right? That would give answers to what happened to my son, and to be able to prosecute those who may be involved with the criminal aspect of my son's case. Those things get lost because of the law enforcement. Somebody would pay it'll be some hell to pay for one of them law enforcement agencies, because they have the opportunity to do the right thing and they refusing to do so. Also, the FBI involvement. Um, I've been asking for that as well. Daniel's vehicle, for instance, on the BLM land, that's federal land, as well as the fact that my son went missing in a crime scene. All those human remains out there, the crimes that's happened out there, the crime that helped solve for the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. Didn't even get thank you for that, you guys. But the thing is, my son went missing, and the FBI should be. And there's also those human remains out there. There's a crime scene. This is where crime's been happening. The government should be into that, involved into that as well, to find out what happened to these people's families. How you can help, you guys? You can download the PDFs that I have on the pleasehelpfinddaniel.com website. You also can sign those letters if you like, if you want some feedback on those things. But most of those are mail stuff. If you don't want to send the letters in, you guys don't have to. You can just send those stuffers in to these things every week. To these agencies every week. The mail-in protest is weekly. Of course, the mail-in window is every Monday through Wednesday. I have here, but you can know that, guys. That's the mail-in window. I'm kind of throwing out the window. I just want you guys to get those letters out there. I just need them constantly going in there, and I hope I can get them in bulks. That's what I was really, really pushing for. So just encourage everybody can to try to get involved with this, because we got to have this movement going, get this pressure, keep going, and that would definitely help in what I'm doing. So again, excuse me, guys, thank you so much for that, which everything you guys have been doing so far when it comes to with my son's case. So again, I'm going back to the comment section. I will be getting off this channel right now pretty soon. So I just want to be able to see if I can say something to the last few here. I do have some questions. Oh, thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate that. I appreciate it. Thank you, Anissa. Thanks for being here this morning again. Thank you for your constant love and support. I truly appreciate you for your super chat. God bless you for that. Again and again and again and again. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Justice for Daniel Robinson, the hashtag. Thanks so much for the hashtag. And then no justice, no peace. And and I'm saying, you guys, that's what this is. The channel is about right now. Seeking justice for my son, Mr. Geologist Daniel C. Robinson. Very brilliant scientist, very brilliant young man. Think about it, starting off life, his first career, doing the best he can. I mean, he's in the city by himself before his sister came out there, doing the best he can. Then having friends like that, gaining friends, as time go by. But that's Daniel, guys. That's Daniel. So thank you, Nissa. I really appreciate that for your super chat and your love again for trying to, and thank you for coming out to the search as well. I'll never forget that. It was really nice, again, putting a face with your name here on this channel. So it was really good to meet you and your husband right in person. So that was a blessing for me to see you there as well. Also, thank you, PM Channel, for your support again, constantly being here. God bless you. Here's your question. Buckeye law enforcement claim the case is still open. Have they reached out to you with updates or letting you know specifically the process on what they have been doing to search for Daniel? All that I get from the Buckeye Police Department is when they need something from me. They're asking me for something. But as in them, I did hear from a detective, I think it was about a week or so ago now, to talk about, he was telling me what his plans is on certain things. I don't want to put it out there, but some things that he planned to do, he was asking my assessment, what I think about a certain situation, excuse me, and his plan to look into something, right? And what I'm saying is, no, to day one here is almost 2 years. Again, I just want to reiterate, they haven't done anything to even bring us 1 inch closer to finding out what happened to Daniel. I see a lot of hindsight stuff they try to do. For instance, they just now, this year, almost 2 years later, they say they did a swabbing of the steering wheel and the shifter. So you wait almost 2 years later, and then you ask for things to compare DNA with, I guess, in a sense, right? You get what I'm saying? This whole thing, um, that's risking my son's life. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you guys, the way I keep looking at it, the way I only can see it, is that my son's life had been at risk. And, I blame the law enforcement for it, because those initial things that should have happened at the beginning was a big problem. I mean, big problem for me and my family. It's like, here it is. You're not taking things seriously. You wait almost 3 days later just to go do a helicopter search. They claim that even so far it hasn't proved to be existing. But for sake of them just saying it, they wait almost 3 days for that to happen. They put my son's life at risk. Stuff like this right here is putting Daniel's life at risk. So let's say Daniel was somewhere that could have been rescued. They, my opinion, caused him not to be able to be rescued by this slow movement. You can't wait almost 3 years, almost 2 years later to process something, to even begin to process something. That's a problem. You my son, somebody come out and we found out somebody did some foul play to my son. And the defense attorney would be able to get that person off for what they did to my son, the way the Buckeye Police Department handled his case. And so, it's really problematic. They hurting my son's case. It's so much. But anyway, no, they haven't. They say they claim it's still open. I don't like the word claim. Case still open. What's a case? I mean, a traffic ticket is a case. I mean, you go get a traffic ticket and say, yeah, we got your case here. You had to come to this court and pay this traffic ticket or whatever. That's a case. That don't mean nothing. You know, they have an investigation. Don't mean nothing either. Sometimes they play both sides of the fence. They'll have you guys believe that they're investigating without calling it a criminal case, right? Without making it a criminal case. It's like they play these games, you guys. I'm telling you, they have these word games, these word games they play with the public, and make it appear they're doing one thing they're not. They're not investigating Daniel's disappearance. They're doing stuff, but they're not investigating. So no, I haven't. No, you asked me. They calling me and stuff like no. On time I hear from the Buckeye Police Department, like I said, when they need something, and to be honest with you guys, I'm not really willing to work with the Buckeye Police Department with this damage. I'm afraid to do anything with them. I really am. I really am. I had to go do DNA, put my DNA out there for Daniel with the Tempe Police Department. I found they said, "Oh, we gave it to Buckeye." I felt really bothered by that. I don't trust that department, not a little bit. I don't trust them as far as I can see them. So the thing is, that's a problem for me. Certain things like that, but no, they like I said, they only reach out to me when they need something. But updates, they have nothing to update. Ain't nothing to update. As in, I haven't heard them yet come up with anything that say, "Hey, we heard this and we really believe that this is going on. This will happen or whatever." Okay. Only thing I heard the update from them is the same thing he said from day one when that vehicle showed up at that scene. It was here for 30 days. The only thing I heard from this a couple weeks ago. Now, it's here for 30 days base. I still feel it was here. And this whole thing from the investigator or whatever they got, that's doubled down on none facts. Because I triangulate a phone or something, he said, right? Triangulate what? You didn't even get a cell phone ping. What you triangulating with? You haven't even gotten information from the cell phone from Google or anything else, right? So I'm saying the whole point is that's that word game stuff. You got hard physical evidence of foul play. You got hard physical evidence of the vehicle not being there for 30. You got a witness who said the vehicle wasn't there for 30 days. They own witness that the vehicle wasn't there for 30. They the one claiming, the Buckeye Police Department, they claim they walked over this area, flew over this area, and the vehicle wasn't there. But at the same time saying it was there. And then when you guys when I questioned them, I said, "Didn't y'all see y'all search this area where the vehicle showed up at?" They said, "Oh, we must have missed it because it was so lush and so thick." And that's what they say. They're telling the public that, you guys, and I keep showing you guys the pictures where it's so, you'll see that BS. And you can see they own picture looking down on the ground, and you see the vehicle sitting there. How you miss that? A blue vehicle sitting in the brown desert. A light blue vehicle at that. But the thing is, it's BS. That's what I'm saying, from the Buckeye Police Department. They just doubling down on their lies, right? So anyway, um, Stella apologizing, Stella doing the right thing, Stella embracing physical evidence. They're gonna fight against it because they didn't get it right, or to me it must be some ego thing. Something. It got to be something, you guys. They're used to walking all over people. It's about time they met their match. No justice for P. Yeah, they met the wrong guy. I'm telling you guys. I think God prepared me for this. I talked to my best friend. One of my best friends passed away. You guys remember that last year? It was really crushing, a really hard time for me. But my other best friend, he and I was talking a few days ago, and we known each other since I know him a lot longer than my other best friend that passed. But we talked about some things about life since I was a kid, and how God allow you to go through so much of different things in life where it prepares you for stuff like this, right? And I'm be honest with you guys, some of this stuff you see, the bat drop, and I tell my team this right here, the bat drop, and for instance, I'm using an example, the bat drops in the camera, the lightings, etc. I bought this stuff years ago. It's been sitting in my closet years ago, probably about good 10 years ago, right? Good while. I'll say about 9 years ago. And sitting there, because when I bought it, I was saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna start this recording myself," and because I was writing a book. I've been writing books about my life since I was in high school, and I was going to record myself and make the stuff, and that's what I told myself. That stuff starts. I bought all that stuff and it's sitting in the closet, right? And then here it is, my son go missing. I found out that, about YouTube and how people use content on YouTube and stuff, and I'm like, wow. And here it is, I already have the stuff, right? So what I'm saying is, you guys, sometimes God prepare you for things you don't even know is going to come. Life's going to change on a dime, and yeah, they match, because you know what? It's a couple things about me. I didn't have a father growing up, and I'm not ashamed to say that, and that's the truth. My mother was the only father I knew at the time. She been damn good at it. When I'm saying, excuse my expression, saying it the way I'm saying it, but she made sure she put me in places where I've been around real men, right? And that was in the church. So the thing is, those men, I used to be in the program called the Sons of Abraham in church. The sons of so and so on, but it's a graduate thing in the church where they teach you how to be men. And one of the biggest things about being a man is to provide for your family. I was taught that you're only supposed to entertain a woman until you got yourself together, right? So some of those things I'm saying, I'm just giving y'all a little just of what my thinkings are. And so I used to, as a young man, look up at me. And my mom used to always say great things about my father, which despite of some of the things that's not true, she always gave us that appearance that. So because of what she did, I used to look at guys and say, I wonder if that's my dad. And I was always pick the best men I seen with these nice suits, or they look like they got something going on and they really father figures. And some, I have one in particular in my church who I looked up to. He was a father figure to me. And I felt if you look at the word dictionary, man in the dictionary, his face will be there somehow. And what I'm saying is, some things are just inherent with as a young man who didn't have a father. And one of the things I promised my son, my first son, when I held him up, like they did in Roots. So when I promised him, and I didn't know he was gonna have siblings at the time, I'll promise I'll always be in his life. I'll always be that father in his life, and I'm going to protect him, right? And that's my goal and my desire to do is to make sure I'm protecting my family, regardless of me and their mother divorced. To be a father for my children, right? And so the thing is, I'm saying, for a man like myself who's passionate about my children, I have been a single parent for a good length of time as well, to my children. And the thing is, I know what it is to be a single parent. My mother was a single parent. I was a single parent. And the thing was, I'm saying, you guys, my son, Daniel, my son, went missing. Of course, I'm going to fight for my son. I'm going to do everything I can to get out into Arizona to do that. You're not going to just, as a department, going to just try to brush me away and brush me away. I'm going to walk away. No, you had to kill me or something, because I'm not going to just walk away from my children. The justice for my son is not going to happen. So the thing is, I'm saying, yeah, they met the wrong person, and I can't say that. So when you say that pineapple porcupine, that's exactly what it is. They met the wrong person. I'm not the person they're gonna say, hey, nothing to see here. Here's his vehicle. You need to get out here. We're gonna have it towed, and you have to pay storage fees. Exactly what he told me. A little over 24 hours after the vehicle showed up. You're gonna get it out of here, or we're gonna have it towed, and you're gonna pay storage fees. We have no more leads to follow. They're pulling their Facebook. They took that off the Facebook page, but I got copies of that. They took it off because they knew they messed up. And they told my investigator they wasn't investigating, right? And gave him the black box data. So the thing is, they gave him the black box data they didn't even read. And what I'm saying is, you guys, I wasn't going to take that stuff and to say to my family, to Dane's mother and my family, like, well, law enforcement said they did the best they can, and there was nothing to see here. Ain't no investigation. Come on now. That BS, if you guys heard the BS that I heard from the law enforcement, and then you look at common sense. I'm a common sense guy, Look at the common sense. Yeah, you know what's up. And so, of course, yeah, they met the wrong person. I would be a thorn in their flesh, until my son get justice. So, of course, just like that, I would not just leave Daniel behind. I'm a military guy as well. I'm gonna throw that in as well. I'm a military guy. We've been trained that way. I fought for this country. I almost lost my life. Best friend of mine, um, devastation thing that happened to him in Afghanistan. Excuse me, it messes me up. But one thing we was taught, and it started from basic training: never leave a fallen comrade. Never leave anyone behind. Something happened to one of the soldiers, we don't leave their body on the ground. We would risk our life to make sure that person returned back home to their family, right? And so, if I can do that for strangers who become like family to me, military family, what do you think I would do for my son? What I'm saying? My flesh and blood. Yeah, I'm going to be there to fight for him, when he can't fight for himself. All right, and Nilsa, thanks so much for a super chat again. I really appreciate it. Question: which part of the mail-in protest do you think is the most I'm having a hard time with that word. I'm sorry. To forcing change, imperative, I guess, to forcing change. I think the first thing is one of the biggest. I'm stop with that. But the biggest thing is to get that letter was really important to me. I did the FOIA request, you guys. Those was just pretty much just to get everybody to send those into those departments, those little areas of the department just kind of flooded out to get attention as well. Some people do want some of those informations they got because I know, like for instance, Buckeye Police Department pulled the police report from the website. You guys make it very difficult for y'all to try to get that report now because they messed up. Like I told you, I have a written report, and you can see where they changed paragraphs, this, that, blah. I call it falsifying report. But also, I think the most important part would be it'll be the letter to Chief Hall, and also what I was thinking when you said that now in this, what I'm thinking is I probably should craft a letter directly to Sheriff Zone as well for you guys to go directly to him too. I did request that Daniel's case with Buckeye Police Department be moved over to the Maricopa County. That was just officially asking that by letter, and then try to do the other things I'm doing, like I said in the background, I'm doing to back that up. But the most important thing right now would be that letter to Chief Hall, and as well as that that would force them to do something. And that's what I'm saying. I think it's a big effort in this. I think it is both. What I'm doing in the background as well as just getting those protest type deals going into that office. But I think the main thing is direct. Sometimes you have to hit the person by the head, the snake by the head or whatever, get the head first. And the thing is going to Chief Hall. But since you said that, you had me thinking right now, today I may go ahead and just try to make sure I'm take some time to craft a letter to Sheriff Zone as well, because I try to reach out to Sheriff Zone. I had a Sheriff Zone set up a liaison between me and himself, where I contact this liaison. Anything I want to ask the sheriff, go back and forth. They don't answer my texts anymore. So I'm assuming that's what I'm saying, you guys, when it comes to the mail-in protests and stuff, I could tell some changes, things that happen. And so he ignoring me now. That's what I'm trying to say. And so the thing is, I'm thinking that now it's time probably to do that as well, as in do the sit-in protest that I was asked about the other day from my team members, and as well as do a protest. Just kind of set this whole protest type deals up, and also, but the most important part right now for you asking that question, to probably get that letters off to Chief Hall, and then also the letter that I will craft to Sheriff Zone, direct letters, keep constantly coming to them. Now, I do encourage, what I can start too, is also encourage everybody, if you want to craft your own letter as well. I try to make it easier, that way people don't have to be writing. You just send something in print, send. And I try my best not to try to ask everybody too much. That's one of my biggest things, right? But yeah, those letters going directly to Chief Hall, Sheriff Zone, I think those will be the best part of that, the most important part that you're asking for. So that you're asking your question. That'll be the most important part, and to kind of force them to do the right thing. So maybe flooding one specific entity each week would be the best way to approach this. That's a way to consider that as well. But it would take a lot of efforts to kind of keep changing the website on that. But I could have it, like you said, kind of put it in the website. This is week 1, week 2, and it's kind of, or say vice versa. Do this week first, and then next week, this week, and keep going back and forth. Some kind of way, kind of craft it that way. So thank you, Nissa, for that. As a matter of fact, I hope you can get in contact with me. You know how, and talk about that a little bit more behind the scenes. I truly appreciate that idea. That was a really good idea when I think about it. So thanks so much again. Also, let's see, I have a question for Shauna. Have you considered posting a mail-in protest and on the petition drive to give those 127,753 voices an opportunity to send in letters? I have not. And Shauna, it'd be good. You can help me remind me too. I keep constantly saying I'm going to update that put the petition on everything, and I haven't done it yet. And with everything, yeah, I really want to do that too. So yeah, that could be on my books as well. Things to do today. So again, yeah, that would be a good idea as well to try to get everybody. And don't forget, you guys, you can sign a petition. That is important as well for these protests and things I'm doing. Go to pleasehelpfinddane.com. You can sign the petition, put your voice to the petition. That would be helpful as well. Thank you, Shauna. Also, Kim, thank you so much for being here, sending tons of love and prayers. You are missed dearly, Daniel. Yes, he is. Very much so. And when you say that, Kim, I don't know if you're one of his old classmates and thing, but yes, he is very much missed. I really appreciate you coming off the Facebook side. Tish, thanks so much for being here as well. Twin Mom T, thank you. Thank you so much for thinking about us. I really, God bless you. Danny, thanks so much for being here. Let's see, you said here, Danny, he says, I remember you said you trust Daniel's coworker and he checked out. The last live you had mentioned the coworker inconsistency was a matching Daniel's phone, wasn't matching Daniel's phone. It depends on which coworker you're talking about, Danny. I say, I could have been saying, that I trust Daniel's coworker. He checked out. It could be probably Roger or somebody, one of his other coworkers. And that's why I try to be careful about using the word coworker because sometimes that get mixed up. I don't call Ken, the guy that said he last seen my son, a coworker. I call him a worker from Weber, is what I call him. And the reason why, because sometimes when I'm talking, I say the coworker, and people assume when I say coworker, we're talking about Ken every time, and it's not the case. So I don't know if that's probably what that is as well. As in, I can't say I trust anybody, so if that was a question, by the way. If I said I trust anybody, I don't remember actually saying that, but if I did, I can say, oh yeah, you have something here as well. What made you trust coworker after all? I said, when I say I don't trust nobody, saying when I say it comes to my son's disappearance, everybody in some form could be a suspect. So I would never ever say I fully trust anybody's story, right? But nevertheless, I don't see anything that will lead to, like, for instance, anybody from Matrix New World, right? I would never ever, literally, for right now, my investigators wise, to pinpoint and say, hey, this person did this or that person did that. When it comes to his company, now the other guy who say he's last seen Daniel, yeah, I have a lot of questions about that. That's definitely out of, like I said, the timeline and everything don't match. Yeah, so thanks so much for your comment. Daniel should have been high risk from day one because he went missing under suspicious circumstances. Yes, and and the fact, there's a lot to that too. You can add to that after, and there's a lot you can add to that whole scenario under law enforcement. They claim, under suspicious circumstances, well as the fact that they was quick to try to pin him as he been having some mental crisis or something, right? And if in that point, that should have, like you said, would have been considered as an endangered person. So they should have been not waiting almost 3 days to go out there looking for him. And I'm saying again, you guys see on that police report, again, the word game they would play with you guys is the officers out there in the area looking for Daniel. Know the areas, and I'm being very specific. I have the stuff recorded, guys. I'm telling you guys, I record everything. Um, Officer Cruz at the time, he told me him and one of the other officers that night was riding up and down Sun Valley Parkway. They called that the area, up and down Sun Valley Parkway to see if he's stuck on the side of the road. I was grateful because I didn't know nothing about Sun Valley Parkway. That's the first time I even heard the word. I heard about White Tank Mountains at the time. They said, yeah, that's in the area. We're going to ride. In my mind, I think he probably is stuck on the side of the road. Thank you for checking this road, looking for my son. Then after he said that, I went to go talk to coworkers for more information. They said, oh, no, he's been missing in the desert, like literally in the desert, off the road, way out in the desert. I was like, oh, hell no, no. We need to go out and search for Daniel in that desert. Officer Cruz told me they cannot go in the desert because it's nighttime and they couldn't get no helicopter out that night. Right? I had to wait till the morning. So they did not go in the desert. They'll make you appear like we had to search, so he went missing. We went out in the desert and looked for Daniel. They did not, you guys. That's word games they play. Um, they rode up and down Sun Valley Parkway. They had nothing to do with Daniel went missing. And that was from lack of information. That's the information I was gathering because I was investigating already, if you want to take it that way. Um, and they waited, like I said, to the morning, which they denied. They higher up denied that search for Daniel, and it took them almost 3 days before they claimed they did it because my auntie called from Pennsylvania to whatever she said to get them to finally say they put a Phoenix Firebird helicopter in the air. So again, good. Thank you guys for being here. I truly appreciate it. I'm gonna get off of this now. I will be back this evening to talk more about Daniel. I'm trying to see if I can provide more things to add to this channel. But my ultimate goal, again, guys, like I said, I'm not a professional. I'm just a father. And this is not an entertainment channel. I really desire, and I really need you guys' help to really help this channel to grow because I want to help other families. But like I said, my main goal is to find my son and to keep his story out there, to keep it alive and well. It's not a cold case, and I really need you guys to spread this channel. Encourage others to follow it. I mean, just like, share, subscribe. If you come on here, you don't say, "Oh no, I want to hear that." Please just like, share, and subscribe. Um, um, that will help. Those will help, before you leave. You don't tend to come back to this channel. That'll help me get Daniel's story out a little farther. That's what I'm looking for, you guys, to get out a little bit more, get a little bit more, and that's what I need. So if you guys can do that, I truly appreciate it. And I say, again, God bless you for just even doing that because, you guys don't have to. But it'll help tremendously. Again, it'll help me a lot to get Daniel's story out as far as I can. Like I said, Shauna, she's working in the background to get a family on. We will probably most likely have that pretty soon, coming really close here. And you guys have in the families that need their story out. It's not a big platform. We got 2.5, 3,000 subscribers. We're not the biggest platform in the world. But but it just takes the right person to hear what happened. That's all it really matters. And if you guys can help them get their story out on this YouTube channel, get them, encourage them to do so. It takes one person. Maybe not happen for Daniel because that one person don't have the information about that, but they might have something they know about your loved one's case. And it just all it takes is the one person to hear the right thing and be able to help another family as well. So again, thank you guys for being here this evening. I'm going to put this timeline video back on, and then I'm out of here. And I'll see you guys on this evening's. I say I want to say Q&A, but I'm trying to stop saying Q&A, you guys. But I will see you back here this evening on the prime time. So thank you guys. Again, I truly appreciate you. Have a blessed day. Be safe out there. Hold your loved ones tight, and don't let go. Have have disagreements. Don't let the sun go down on your wrath. Try to resolve those things before the day is ending, because you never know. Life can change on the dime. So thanks so much again. God bless you, every last one of you, and I'll see you all on the next time. Thank you.
No one is available to take your call. Please leave a message.
Hey, Daniel. This is Ken with Rebel Water Resources. I'm out here at Trillium off of Sun Valley Parkway. I'm waiting on fuel. I think it's going to be a while. He was all the way over at Fort McDowell here at 6 o'clock this morning. So I just wanted to give you a heads up. It's, I don't want you to come all the way out here and just sit and wait. But I was going to give you a heads up when you're about an hour away from being ready to go and stuff. But if you can, just give me a call when you get a chance.
is available to take your call. Please leave a message.
Hey, Daniel C. Hey, give me a call, please. Thank you.
No one is available to take your call. Please leave a message.
Hey, Daniel, this is Roger. I know that work is trying to get hold of you, but I'm less concerned about them than I am about you. Give me a call back. Let me know what's going on. If I need to pick up somewhere, whatever. Just give me a holler. I'll make sure you're okay. So I'll talk to you later. Thanks.